with that. I said, we're their friends. I said, look at this. This guy's alive. And I was just, that was my big time in the thing. Like I said, it was pretty much a blur. I got to a point where they realized I was going to live. The surgeon that had worked on me had told me that there's only 3,000 people in America that are like you, that have actually lived with 4 centimeter or larger clots in your brain. I thought that was pretty cool. You know, not bad. He goes, I'll tell you what. He said, there's 3,000 people, but there's only 300 people that are in America that can actually walk. He said, I don't know if you can try and be one of those people. Just, you know, let's try. I remember that. I got out of intensive care. Memorial Hermann owns a rehab hospital. And in the rehab hospital, they put you 2 to a room, no matter how much money you have. And the man next to me, elderly gentleman, had just gotten his hip replaced. He was learning how to walk. And during that time, everything that happened was just such a miracle. You know, I'm sure many of you have yourself or you know people that have had brain injuries or tumors or different things like that. The brain is a fantastic organ in your body. And when you have trauma to your brain, part of your brain dies. And so the brain itself, and we all, as you all have heard many times, we only use 10% of our brain. Everything that you do, talking and seeing and walking and moving your fingers and everything, is a pathway in your brain. And when something happens to you, the brain has to make new pathways for each and every thing there is. And it's so small as your little finger is moving your little finger. And it, like I said, it was miraculous what was happening to me. Because literally every day, something new was happening. Every person that was there, every therapist I had, they would go, I can't believe it. This guy, you know, he's not going to be invincible. He might even be able to walk. And I was getting stronger. Every day I was getting stronger, and I was doing, you know, every exercise I could possibly do. And I was in there for a few weeks, and I was going to be discharged from my house. I'm still in a wheelchair. And I remember the doctor was telling me what was lying ahead, you know, what I was going to have to do. And he said, we hope the best for you. We really do. We hope the best. He says, but don't be discouraged. So, you know, instantly, you know. And he's giving me all this stuff about rehab and what you need to do. And he said, what you really need, he said, you need a personal trainer. He said, literally every day you're going to need a personal trainer because you're going to need to learn how to use your arms and your legs and walk and get stronger and all that stuff. Pretty interesting fact. For the previous 10 years up until that time, my wife had been learning, and I guess she was a professional. She was a personal trainer. I'm very blessed. We have a gym in our house, small. She calls it her studio, and so that's what I did every single day. You know, just got to walking a little bit farther, a little bit stronger. It was incredible, and every day I was just getting stronger and better, and things were just going along. Until 7 years later, this is what you see in front of you. And it took a long time. It took long. This is actually the first time that I've actually talked in front of a group, told this story, very first time. And of course, our life changed drastically. No longer the atheist, now God's warrior. I learned a few things from this whole experience that I would love to tell everybody about. One thing we all have to do is, we have to spread the good news. We have to do that. We have the good news. The whole Christianity, the whole evangelical, we've taken a bad rap. We have the news. We've got it all. We just got to tell people about it. And I know it's difficult. I'm sitting there. I'm trying. I'm trying to do that. I want us all to be more like Jesus was. Matthew 8, 23 through 26. I'm going to read this passage to you. Then he got into his boat, and his disciples followed him. Without warning, a furious storm came up on the lake, so that the waves swept over the boat. But Jesus was sleeping. The disciples went to him and woke him, saying, "Lord, save us. We're going to drown." He replied, "You of little faith, why are you so afraid?" Then he got up and rebuked the winds and the waves, and it was completely calm. I think of that many times. Why are we afraid? I don't have an answer. I wish I could, but try to be more like Jesus. Remember the words of our eternal Father also. Everything's going to be all right. Thanks be to God. Amen.
Amen.